chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Justice and Constitutional Development as well. So that's pretty much what we were initially anticipated to get there as well. So let's try and get the latest then on this one because of the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Justice and Constitutional Development, Xola, joining us as well then. Xola, if we were to perhaps unpack this just a little bit more, if you may, just to give us a bit of clarity as to what it is you know at this point and where exactly things hopefully will go from here.
Well, what we have seen was what was circulating in social media and the mainstream media, which has made us to conduct the Human Rights Commission with immediate effect, so that they are able to act decisively. Because from what we have seen, that which we saw is a prima facie evidence of a violation of human rights, and it's something so unfortunate and despicable to say the least, because it's things that we should not experience as a 30-plus-year-old democracy. Such kind of gruesome violation of other people's rights shouldn't be done. What actually needs to happen now is that police must close down the establishment, because it has now been declared a crime scene and a subject of investigation, and police must pursue arrests. The NPA is ready for possible prosecutions of those who may be found to have acted in aggression of the law. And the Human Rights Commission has confirmed that today it will launch its own investigation, what they call own accord investigation. Then after that, they will therefore report to the committee as we required them to do such.
Xola, is closing down one establishment ultimately going to help in a broader situation like this? And I only ask because if we find that this is not a situation that is necessarily isolated, maybe not necessarily in just sexual acts, but certainly in some sort of, whether it be criminal activity or otherwise, would just shutting down one establishment ultimately be the cure?
Well, it will not be a sole cure, but it will help police to run their own investigation without interruptions. Remember, if you allow the establishment to operate, it means that you run a risk of some of the evidence being destroyed. So that's why police must close down the place. But also, I think the reason why we have said that the Human Rights Commission must do an investigation is solely because it is our suspicion that this may not be the only incident, by the way. This may not be the only establishment that does such kind of terrible things. So the investigation, a broader investigation, will help us arrive at a clear direction of how then should we help government to regulate the operations of those kind of establishments. So as much as it's not closing down is not the sole solution, but I think it will help police strengthen their case in terms of soliciting the necessary evidence relating to all this. But I think part of what we must look at deeply is the human rights culture that's happening in this kind of establishment.
Yeah.
And if we don't dig deeper, would not know, will only act incident by incident without us having been properly informed of what is happening so that we can do necessary legislative and policy measures.
Yeah. Do we know of the, I don't know if you know at all about the safety as well as the ability to understand the situation of the whistleblower and the former bouncer as well, one who goes by Pablo, who on social media looked to reveal quite a lot and said that he's the one who leaked a lot of the videos as well that we ultimately saw on social media. Are we aware of where he may be, his safety as well, and if that's how prominent and important that is, of course, to the overall case?
We are not aware, one, of his whereabouts, but all we can tell is that government has got a funded whistleblower protection program, which is done in a number of institutions, including HAWKS, including SAPS, including NPA, and the related institutions of government. So it's necessary in this regard to ensure that that whistleblower is protected. Because remember, he further said there are some of the information or evidence that he has that he is willing to release anytime soon.
Yeah.
So those that are at the receiving end of that kind of evidence might want to destroy that evidence by ending his life or any other, or confiscating those gadgets. So the state must act swiftly in ensuring that that whistleblower is actually protected, so that it motivates anyone else who wants to whistleblow such kind of things in those establishments to actually come forward. So we encourage the state, and we trust that they are on it now, although it is very important that they do not disclose details of what they are doing. But we have confidence that they have already been able to act on the matter. Remember, since yesterday, SAPS has taken the matter up.
Yep.
and following it properly.
Just as a final question then, will the portfolio committee be looking to ensure that it stays abreast of the situation? Will that be your port of call from here on?
Yes, of course. We'll await the commission to give us at least a preliminary report of what may have happened. Then from there, we'll be able to see what best measures to be made so that we avoid such kind of incidences in the future.
All right. Thank you so much for the time. Really, really appreciate it. As we get to try and understand the situation, of course, out of the Zanzou nightclub, then in Pretoria, of course, at least 8 people sought in connection with Zanzou bar, the assault, compelled rape allegations, of course, as well, being a part of that. That was the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Justice and Constitutional Development.